Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we have the August 2025 Roundup. So in this video, I'm just going to run you through everything that's happened in August, primarily focusing on things that I've been working on, videos, Patreon things, products, etc. So this month was largely a lot of preparation and moving into this new mode of work with Patreon. So it's like a transitory period. So if we look at the main YouTube channel, we can scroll down and see that August started with playing Peak with Blender experts. That was just a fun filler video with Azzy and Cartesian Caramel. Then why don't I use a Blender launcher? Because I got some questions asking about that, and sometimes maybe annoy is a strong word, but sometimes it would rub me the wrong way where, I'm showing my process of how I like to make stuff and people come along and they say, hey, just use this, just use this, just use this without even considering the technicalities of things. So hopefully that was slightly educational as well. Then I made Blender art inspired by the pandemic. This is relating to some of the Biogen development work we've been doing. It started off as random experiments with the logic libraries, then became a piece of artwork which is available on the Patreon for Silver Tier members. You can find that on the Members Lounge under Blender Art Files and Experiments. And speaking of that, this prismatic effect is also on the Members Lounge. This one blew up a bit on Twitter specifically, and it was related to a project, like a test project I was doing with a couple of other friends. Effectively, you can get like kind of fake colored prismatic glass effect without actually simulating anything light-wise. So again, that's on the Patreon as well. I believe these two can actually just be purchased straight out on the Patreon. I was testing that, but they're available for the $5 tier. Next, I was actually starting to inform people about the changes. So big changes to how I make Blender content. Following that, of course, more recently, we have the update to the community material pack in pre-release. We have the arty sticker pack, which is now available for patrons, and a preview of the Biogen version 10 development in slightly more detail, and I'll add progressively more detail as we get closer. Yesterday, as of today, I released the Am I Retiring from YouTube video, kind of explaining how my original announcement didn't really resonate so much with people, but it's largely an outreach problem where videos just aren't getting recommended to the people that will find them interesting, and that's an ongoing problem with YouTube. Something I've been vocal about and annoyed about for years, specifically in regards to how they measure audience interest and how they respond to it, using a proportion of sub-interest within the first few hours of a video's release as a heavy proxy for interest, which I think is just awful algorithm design. In terms of shorts, we did add-ons updated for Blender 4.5, so it's talking about how I have updated a bunch of my free add-ons for Blender. So this is slightly before the new Patreon wage system kicked in, so I hope you're grateful for that. Blender is coming to iPad. Interesting bit of news there. People had mixed opinions about that, but I really think it's a positive thing. Then a short about the pandemic art, and then a short about the Biogen development work. Next up, I got featured in 80 level for the fake prismatic glass effect, and they show off a few of the other videos here as well. 3D artist and software developer Curtis Holt, who created many amazing Blender tools, including the Biogen add-on for creating non-destructive generative modeling styles, shared a tutorial on creating prismatic glass in Blender. As the artist noted, the visualization of crystal cut glass might be useful for branding and motion design. Holt detailed the process, wow, no one really calls me Holt, that's interesting, of crafting an appealing iridescent effect in a concise 7-minute video, shared the node setup, explained how you can change the glass's look by tweaking parameters. The artist utilizes custom library Afterglow, which you can find here. Nice of them to share that. So yeah, they list some of the other videos there. Very nice, thank you 80 level. Over on the Curtis Holt Online channel, which is a different channel, I did a video debugging your lighting scenes. This is in response to a help request on my server talking about if your viewport is different from your render in terms of outputs, then what could be the causes of that lighting wise. So I speak about like outline of visibility settings, ray visibility, compositor, etc. So it's just a little help video. All right, website wise, the Patreon webpage had a complete overhaul in terms of design. So I used to just say, hey, what you can get from the Patreon, a few bullet points, sign up, etc. Now we got all this imagery. Here's what you can get by becoming a Patreon. There's a members lounge. Here are the tiers. You can have a little look through them. New branding design for the imagery as well. I have this system where we can actually see how much the fund gives every month. It should update on the 5th every month, but it can be slightly delayed. And how much overtime is remaining. I still got more to add to that. I explain how the system works. I provided some slightly more recent data. So basically, if I want to add more data to the page, but I don't have time to do a full render, or if I'm like away from home and I don't have the render file, then I can just put it in there. A list of things which are upcoming. So this should update when I update every month. You can see the community material pack will take about like half a year before it gets released. At least that's on the previous data. So to speed that up, basically more people have to sign up. It will take a chunk out of the overtime, and a list of other free community projects. So we can see the preview here, Biogen in development pre-release community material pack. So I will try and keep this updated. Then the members lounge, our members page, also had a complete overhaul. So this is for people that are signed up on the silver tier of the Patreon. I have an introductory video as well, not just for the main members lounge, but also for like every section. section. So if we click on Blender Art Files and Experiments, there'll be an introductory video here as well to help bring people into it. As well as that, you can see the content down here. I don't actually think I listed that this month on my roundup. So this might carry on over to September as well, just to note. But yeah, here you can see where we have lists of things that people can download, and by clicking on the Patreon link there, it'll take you to the page, but obviously you need to be a Silver Tier member to access it. Unlock this post. Please note you can join the Patreon for free, but obviously you won't be increasing my wage and you won't get access to the exclusive things. But you will get an email ping for moments like this. Important updates, roundups at the end of months, etc. Okay, so also on my list it says Patreon tiers have been renamed, new branding. Yep, mentioned that. Following more recognizable grading, basically to kind of make it feel more familiar with the Blender Dev Fund. Bronze, silver, gold. And then I added my own little twist. After platinum, we got sapphire and unobtainium. Okay, going back to the members page. The categories had been simplified, so they were slightly more disparate before. Now they've been merged. This may change over time. New imagery for those as well. Broken down into experimental files, resource packs, pre-release reference material, extra videos. I also need to make a development zone one for specific types of projects. I'll tell you about that soon. And if we do exclusive add-ons, I'll do an add-on section. Okay, cool. So coming to the end. Personal, education, and home lab. So because I like to keep you up to date on how I'm doing, like in my other types of work, since as patrons, you're supporting my education as well. Early in August, I passed a course on antibiotic resistance. That was brilliant. It was fascinating. I learned a lot from that, and it's given me like so many different avenues for new things to research as well. But now that uni has actually started a little bit early, I don't want to get too distracted by that. But I think it's good though. I have this keen interest in AMR, antimicrobial resistance. So I'm kind of parked that interest, and I need to now focus on the uni stuff, which, you know, being the start of this whole degree thing, the uni stuff is pretty simple, like by comparison for now. And then it will ramp up over time. But I also don't know how much to do like extra reading, because I've been listening to other students that have been with the university for a while, and they provide a bit of a warning that like focus on the material, because when you're coming to writing your assignments, you don't want to let in external influences too much. They will need to refer to the actual uni material as much as you can. So that's something I always have to keep in mind, like compartmentalizing the interest there. In the lab, I came up with a method for heat mapping methylene blue stained leukocytes in a digital feed via a chroma key method. Okay. Now we're getting into real science. Let's go. I might need my iPad for this. All right, so as I'm staining blood cells in the lab, of which I still only have access to limited chemicals at the moment, the stains come up a specific color when we're looking at the nuclei of things like leukocytes. But what I figured was, since they're staining as a specific color, then the digital space, obviously we're used to chroma keying things out, like, you know, the green screen and stuff like that. So in theory, you can chroma key the nuclei of cells through the visual feed, because they're really the only things that are picking up the specific stain that strongly. So I played with that idea a bit, actually. And what it does is it kind of helps you to isolate the actual shape of the nuclei lobes. So in this case, this should be a neutrophil. So that's something I tried over in the lab corner. A little bit of like, you know, live science viz. It also works if you don't want to be distracted by the color as well. Make it monochromatic or grayscale after doing this, and then you'll end up with a white field where you can see like the cells slightly faded, and then you'll just have these black marks only where the lobes are as you look across the field. So it's really interesting. It's kind of like a heat mapping method for finding the white cell nuclei. Look at me go. At the beginning of this year, I knew hardly anything about like blood microscopy, and now I'm coming up with new techniques. So I believe that is everything for August. But those are just the things that have been released. Obviously, I've been working on all sorts of things in the meantime. So let's try and make September a good one. At the end of September, I'll be going away with my family for 1 week somewhere here in the UK, but I still work when I'm away anyway. Anyway, if you made it this far through the video, consider signing up to the Patreon. Remember, you can do it for free or a single $1, or on the silver tier for $5 or even more if you like. But the silver tier gets exclusive resources. By doing any of this, you'll be supporting the work. And if you pay, especially, you'll be increasing the number of hours I can spend on free projects every month. Put a book-related emoji in the comments if you made it this far, if you like. A book, because this is our monthly report. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.